So Megyn Kelly is an interesting character. Back when she was on Fox News, I know a lot of you guys might not remember this, but I'm old enough to remember this. She actually was one of the more moderate hosts. Like, she actually would go a little tough on Republican guests, and she would, she wasn't like a Hannity, for example. She wasn't even like an O'Reilly. She positioned herself a little bit more moderate, which is why it should come as a surprise to nobody when she, was one of the moderators for a debate, and she actually asked Trump a tough question and asked like a follow-up question. But in that moment, she really had an identity crisis. And I say that because Trump, of course, fired back at her and basically said, like, Megyn Kelly being very unfair. She's got blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever. Of the implication being she's on her period, and that's why she's asking tough questions. And there was tremendous backlash from MAGA at Megyn Kelly. And so this conservative audience that, had largely liked her, at that point they started to turn on her, right? Then eventually, you guys know what happened from there, at least I think you do. She ended up going, I think, to like NBC for a little bit and tried to become like a daytime, like cheery, bubbly type host. Didn't work for her. And then eventually, she went the independent route. Now, when she went independent, very clearly, she made a decision. Okay, in order to stay relevant, I'm going to meet Ride Trump. In order to stay relevant, I'm going to be part of the brigade of like, oh, he's right about everything, oh, what an amazing comeback he made. And so she really, like, anything interesting that she may have said in the past, it all came to naught because she made a calculated decision in this new media world. She didn't think she could sink or swim on her own merits. And so she just became part of the standard Republican chorus, the brigade of idiots all saying the same points over and over. And it's a real shame because she's smarter than that. She's definitely smarter than that. She has the ability to be nuanced and intelligent and actually break with the right. But now, what's interesting now is she's in a little bit of a unique position. She's in a unique position. There's this civil war on the right, even among the pundit class. And so you got you got Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes and Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin and all these people. And I think she genuinely finds herself in the middle of it. I think she was like friends with all of them or most of them, right? Not Nick, but the rest of them. And so she's trying to navigate her way through this. And she tried to play peacemaker. She tried to get like Candace Owens and Erica Kirk to have a meeting and work it all out. And it lasted for about a day and a half. And then it all went back to shit, right? And so now there is like the path isn't as clear anymore. It's like, okay, which side are you going to take? It's untenable to stay on the fence here. Ben Shapiro only accepts going full Ben Shapiro, full Trump meat riding now because that's one and the same now. Candace is full conspiracy brained. Tucker's sort of doing his own thing. It's like anti-Israel, but also very standard conservative, even though he pretends like he's non-interventionist, but he still backs Trump, who's the biggest warmonger in the world. It's all very confused. And so now we have Megyn Kelly. You can really see that her grift is starting to unravel. So look at this. Megyn Kelly says, as a Fox News anchor, she knows her job would have been to uncritically cheer on regime change in Venezuela, as virtually everyone at the network spent the weekend doing. However, after watching the long history of failed interventions, she believes it's prudent to remain skeptical of this latest one. Now, that makes it sound like she was a crusading non-interventionist voice against this regime change. No. Like I said, she's having another identity crisis now. And so what you'll see here is she's just like paralyzed. She's like, I don't know. I'm a little bit, I agree with this side, but then also that side, and I'm sort of in the middle of it. And it's actually kind of sad to watch. It's like an identity crisis on air. Watch this. Here we go.
I really think this is something we need to consider both sides on. I really do. I don't
both
think
sides.
Let me just tell you something.
She said both sides. The side that does an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us and kidnaps and abducts a sovereign head of state. We should consider that side, and the side that says that's all illegal and bad. There is no middle ground, Megyn. This is black or white.
When I was at Fox News, which was a long time, 14 years, I would have known exactly what to do in the wake of Trump's attack in Venezuela, his retrieval, shall we say, to put it in mild terms, of Nicolas Maduro. I would have known that I was supposed to cheerlead it.
I was supposed to be a drone. I was supposed to be a ditto head. I was supposed to toe the line. By the way, like I said, she's not even giving herself full credit. When she was at Fox News, certainly at the beginning, she was one of the more moderate hosts. So she's not even giving herself credit. But what the point is there, the expectation of all the hosts, they know, I know my job. Give me my pom-poms. Brian Kilmeade, Steve Doocy, all these people. They know where my pom-poms. Sean Hannity, where are my pom-poms? They know that. She's basically saying, yes, they're exactly what you think they are. They're propagandists. They're hacks.
And I turned on Fox News yesterday, and I'm sorry, but it was like watching Russian propaganda.
Ooh.
was nothing skeptical. It was all rah, rah, cheerleading. Yes, let's go. And that's fine. I love our military as much as anyone, and I believe in President Trump. But there are serious reasons to just exercise a note of caution before we just get on the rah, rah train. All right, I have done that enough times in my career as a Fox News anchor to have been embarrassed enough to know I'm going to stay on the yellow light for this.
Now, we're all supposed to be like, Megyn, how brave of you. The yellow light? Oh, Megyn, you sure are growing. Oh, my God. If you can't see this is a red light, there's no hope for you, bro. There's no hope. You know what percentage of Americans say they want the U.S. to run Venezuela, which is what Trump said we're going to do? 16%. Megyn Kelly looks at that and goes, maybe. A little bit of me wants to do that, and a little bit of me doesn't want to do that. And we're all supposed to go, oh, Megyn. Oh, you crusader for truth, taking a real bold stand. This is embarrassing. This is actually somehow even more embarrassing than like the Mark Levin stance, which is just like, yeah, kill them all. I'm
not in the green light territory. I'm not in the red light territory either, but I am staying in the yellow light territory.
I'm not in the red light. Let me ask you guys a question. What would it have to be to make her go red light then? They did literally everything to flaunt how illegal and insane this is, and she's still not a red light. They murdered 100 fishermen. They bombed 30 boats. They illegally and offensively invaded a country that didn't attack us and kidnapped their president. Okay, Trump is saying, we're going to steal the oil, we're going to take the oil, I'm going to take the oil. He literally says, I'll control the bank account with the oil money in it. If this was anybody else, any other country acted like this, she would immediately say, wow, they're a problem. They're insane. But we do it, I'm sort of 50-50 on this. That's what I am. See, this is what, the path is no longer clear to grift on the right. Because what do? Do you go the Shapiro, Mark Levin, Trump route? Which, by the way, Trump is losing popularity fast, and those other guys are fucking washed. Shapiro's channel is fucking a ghost town, right? Or do you go the Tucker Fuentes route, which is, you know, I guess in theory Tucker's against this, but Nick is for this, so she just does. Where's she taking orders from now? There's nowhere to take orders from. There's no laid out path. You actually have to use your own mind. And the best she can come up with is, maybe? Kind of? I guess? A little bit? Like, really? That's your take on this? That's your take. I can't, man. I can't with these people. This, I don't know, this just shows you, even the people are supposed to be the good conservatives. Here you go. This is what they look like. Can't even oppose, like, the world's most obvious war crimes. You got a fucking pedophile, rapist, war criminal, Epstein bestie, who's like, I will determine the morality of every other nation, and I will be the world policeman. World policeman? You're on video with underage girls. Arrest yourself. How about that? No, but according to Megyn Kelly, maybe he should be able to go and do whatever he wants and kidnap whoever he wants and steal the oil and the natural resources. Maybe.
I see all of the strategic advantages of what he's done. Trust me, I do. I see that other countries like Russia and China and Cuba were all over Venezuela and its oil, posing a potential threat to the United States. I get that. That's actually
a potential threat for a sovereign country to sell oil to nations that are allied with them and nicer to them. That's a threat, according to Megyn Kelly. A free nation making a free decision to trade with somebody that's not us is a threat, according to Megyn Kelly.
The most persuasive argument, and obviously the real one, and none of this bullshit about law enforcement. But I have seen what happens when you cheerlead unabashedly U.S. intervention in foreign countries, thinking it's for our good and for the international good, only to wind up with what we've called quagmire.
Oh, quagmire. See, this is that sort of bitch-ass language that I hate. The Iraq War sure was a mistake. Like, it's not a fucking mistake. It was intentional. It was criminal. There's a difference between a oopsie and a Eichen von Stargen, take the territory and the land and the natural resources, yeah. There's a difference between those things, but this is the most you get from these losers.
In places like Iraq, not to mention Libya. We're not great at going in.
Why does she talk like that? Libya. She said, Libya. What the fuck is that?
These foreign countries, decapitating them at the leadership level, and then saying either we're going to steer the country to a better place or it's going to steer itself. Either one. They just, 9 times out of 10, they don't work out well. And what does it mean in terms...
Even the assumption that we would try to, quote, steal the country to a better place. What do you have, a baby brain? For real, that's a serious question. How can you possibly think that that's what's on the table here? No, we're not trying to fucking steer them in the right direction. We don't give a fuck. Trump doesn't give a fuck about Americans. You think he gives a fuck about managing Venezuela properly? Jesus.
The boots on the ground. Trump is saying, I'm actually fine with that in Venezuela. Well, whose boots? Because I have a 16-year-old boy, and I have a 12-year-old boy, and I have a 14-year-old girl. And a lot of my listeners have children, too, who are actually the ones who might have to fill the boots.
Classic. So classic. How many times have you guys realized this? That in order for a conservative to oppose something, it has to directly impact them. You know, they don't give a fuck until it immediately impacts them directly, personally. You know? So it's all like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Trump can do whatever the fuck he wants with these Obamacare subs. Oh shit, my fucking premium quadrupled? Well, I'm against this now. When you thought it was other people, you didn't give a shit. You never do. So now it's like, oh, I have a 16-year-old boy. Oh, so now I guess war's a bad idea if it's his boots that have to be on the ground. But if it was the guy down the street from the lower income part of town, if his son had to go, fuck him, who cares? Then I could see it. But my kid? No. God, I just hate these people so much. I hate them so much. How do you build a nation with people like this in it? I don't understand. Like, no sense of collectivism or you know, civic duty. No sense of, like, the golden rule, trying to treat others well.
So I think I speak for a lot of moms and dads, for that matter, when I say I'm staying in yellow territory until
yellow. It's yellow.
We know more. And I will not be joining the Fox News cheerleading brigade this time. I've been burned.
Well, if you're not with us, you're against us. If you're part of the yellow light territory, not the red light territory, you can shut the fuck up. I have zero interest in what you're saying.
Too many times. So that's why we're beginning the show with Aaron Mate.
So now I'll bring on somebody who's actually anti-war, as I express, maybe not. I'm in the middle on this thing. So I can try to get the credibility of being anti-war, but also leave myself enough wiggle room where if the pro-war faction wins out in the long run, then I could say, no, I was with you guys too, kind of, at the beginning and the whole time, bro. Oh my God, man. The grifting game is up. She is coming apart at the seams. The grift is falling apart. It is nothing but a bunch of fucking charlatans in this media space, bro. I'm telling you. Nothing but a bunch of charlatans. And I'm sure just like all the rest of them, she does 17,000 ads for all sorts of bullshit. Because that's why she's really in it. Grifting for the clout. Grifting for the clout and the eyeballs and the money. She doesn't give a fuck about any of these issues. And this is just a sad excuse. I would rather her go full fucking Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro. I love every war ever. Yeah. Instead of this fake, like, I'm kind of with you guys who are against obvious war crimes and illegality. I'm kind of with you guys. Like, oh my God, enough. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.